Hi guys, my name is Nonema Tikela. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I want us to talk about what went down in court yesterday. I did try to do two videos about it, but I thought let me also expand and talk about certain issues that were happening. First things first, in the morning, the first thing that we dealt with was what the defense is still standing on. In fact, it was not the defense per se. Yes, it was the defense, but it was Nxumalo who was standing on business, who held uJudge Ratha by hand and said, Mntomdala, uzasibeka ngaphesheya kweJordani. What you are going to do, you are going to take us over, Sana. You are going to cross over with us to the Jordan River. Jordan River, see, cross now because you are not going to leave us hanging. That you are not going to do. That was Nxumalo too, uJudge Ratha. In so many words, Kesana. I don't care what you heard. I heard what I heard. And I'm sticking by my guts of what I heard and what I saw. Okay? So you do know that Judge Ratha said to them they must go and check out they must go previous day, which was Tuesday. When we ended on Tuesday, Judge Ratha was like, okay, go and read about the laws or authorities about what must happen. Can Baloyi ask questions regarding certain parts of the so-called evidence of Gininda that will include the so-called confession of Ntanzi mentioning other people. That was what was the issue. Now, this was actually a very important legal moment in the trial, Kesana, because it exposes a battle over what a confession is allowed to do in court. Okay, let's break it down cleanly so that you can understand what I'm trying to do. Let's analyze it and understand it better. Firstly, what the defense was really arguing about is that it was drawing a hard legal line between Section 219 of the Criminal Procedure Act, Section 218 of the Criminal Procedure Act. Their core arguments were a confession is personal evidence. It can only be used against the person who made it, and only if it is properly admitted. So when they say Section 219 should be divorced from Section 218, they are basically saying you cannot use this confession to build a case beyond its legal limits. That's what the defense was arguing, Kesan. And Nxumalo was like, and I stand by that with my full chest. I stand by that with my full chest. Fine, that's what they were arguing. Now, the second thing, or why the trial within a trial matters, the defense is emphasizing something crucial. The court already held a trial within a trial. That process was only about whether Bongani Ntanzi's confession was admissible. And then they drop a bomb. Brigadier Bongani Gininda never made a confession. So there was no legal process testing his version. His evidence was not subjected to the same scrutiny, meaning you can't sneak in Gininda's version through the back door. That is what they argued, Kesanala. That is what they were emphasizing on. Thirdly, the state's counter-attack, very strategic. They tried there. I'm going to give it to them. The prosecution shifted the battlefield. Instead of arguing admissibility, they argue reliability. They rely heavily on State versus Zulu and others, 1998 SACR. Their key point, even if a confession is admitted, it must still be tested. Does it match the facts? Does it align with evidence already on record? So they argue Gininda is not adding a confession. He is showing that the confession matches the facts. I'm still looking for the match, Kesan. I'm still looking for the match because I did not find one when I was listening. I don't know how the prosecution listens. I don't know. Point number 4, the real legal clash. Okay, this is the core now of the business. This is where things got exclusive. Defense said, you are bypassing Section 219, by the way. You are using the evidence to validate a confession improperly. You are changing the rules when it suits you, Baloyi. And that was Nxumalo Gesana. State said, we are not using the confession improperly. We are just proving it is reliable, and reliability is allowed under law. Point number 5, the judge's position, very telling, Gesana, very telling. Rata Mokgoatlheng stepped in and does something subtle but powerful. He pushes the issue to the end of the case, meaning he avoids ruling immediately. He allows the trial to continue, but signals this will be decided later during final arguments. Okay. We see you, Rata. We are looking at you, Judge. We are looking at you, Justice Mokgoatlheng. We see you. Just know that. Point number 6. Why the 1983 treason case was mentioned, and I was like, sir, okay, hear me out. Let's hear him. The judge references an old case, Transkei Bantustan argument, to make a point. Legal arguments can be creative, but still fail. That example shows just because an argument is clever doesn't mean it will win in law. Translation, argue it fully. At the end, I'll decide then. We see you again. It is telling. Point number 7. What this moment really means, the bigger picture. This is not just a technical law. This is the core battle of the case. If the defense wins, the confession becomes isolated. It cannot be used to support the broader case. The state's case weakens dramatically. If the state wins, the confession gets reinforced. It connects to other evidence. It becomes far more powerful. But we are still waiting for where it connects. Still waiting, Gesana, for it connects kuphi, Sanalam. Like, show us where it connects. Now, finally, the moment is about one question. Is the state proving a confession, or is the state building a case around a confession? Because those are not the same thing. And if the court finds that lines were crossed, the entire structure of the state's case can collapse. Now, this is what I liked about Nxumalo. Nxumalo was like, awungitsheli lokho, Judge. You are going to give us a proper answer, lana. You are not just going to decide ntoba wena awuzuphendula kule nto. Nxumalo stood there and said, ngiyakuzwa yonke le nto ishoyo. Come here, tell me, way forward. What is the way forward? What is the way forward? So give us the way forward. Urata waqonda uba andisena-choice le ntwana le indibambe nge-chose clam mandivele ndiphendule ndithethe ndinike le ntwana le nto ifunayo because ayizundiyeka. Wabe uNxumalo engamyekanga Gesana. Wabe engamyekanga Gesana. Because now what I saw there was that uJudge Rata akahlelisekanga kakuhle because he warned Baloyi, do not go through these confessions. They are going to blacksam you. Guess what? Baloyi was blacksammed by the confessions, guys. Baloyi was indeed blacksammed. It was indeed a blacksam situation. But for me, when Judge Rata mentioned the 1983 case, because they lost the case, it meant for me so many things. Let me not go there. He says you can be smart and argue things and try your things, but you can still lose. That's what I was hearing. I don't know about you, but that's what I heard in ngendlebe zami. But Urata was saying when he mentioned the 1983 case, you can still be smart, but you may still lose. I don't know, okay, what is that supposed to mean, but time will tell because uJudge Ratha yena umgulukudu othe umadribula mos he was a soccer player. He knows how to yabo to maneuver around. He knows how to maneuver things around. He's always and he will always find ways and means to make sure yena akathinteki in some way. The only thing uRatha ezomenza athinteke in a way is his outbursts, his anger, his temper, and he's always direct towards the defense. Those things are going to work against him. But when it comes to dribbling, number one, uJudge Ratha Mokgoatlheng Sanlam. Number one, umhlekazi pha uyagqwesa. Oh, uyaphumelela mntasekhaya ngawo wonke amabakala. What are your thoughts when it comes to this? How did you feel when all of this was happening? Now, I was very proud of your defense, let alone uNxumalo. uNxumalo was standing on business. Judge. He was like, I'm here, I see you, and I'm not going anywhere. You are going to give a proper go ahead here. Thank you. I'll see you on our next video. Bye-bye.